I'm Scott Mitchell. This is Leader Echols, Jason Dunnington, and the filing period's over with. Your review of what happened.
Yeah, we talked a lot about filing the last couple of weeks. What happened was you had a lot of people that decided they wanted to run for the open Senate seat. You had a number of people get in the CD2 race. But I think an important thing to talk about this morning is the people that didn't run. You had some really good representatives. Carol Bush out of Tulsa, Gary Mize out of Guthrie, my good friend Colin Walkie here out of Oklahoma City, and Zach Taylor over on the Senate side decided not to run for office. And I think some of the reason behind that is it's just really difficult right now to stand up for elected office with all the vitriol that comes out, with all the hateful comments that people get online. It's hard to be a really good governor in a state legislature, and I think that's bad for the state. We lost some good people that didn't file for re-election.
Yeah, gonna miss Walkie, I gotta tell you. Your thoughts about when you see what happened in filing?
Well, we did on the Republican side in the House. We lost, in addition to Gary Mize, Sheila Dills decided not to file again in the Tulsa area, and Carol Bush in the Tulsa area. They were great public servants, and we're going to be missed. We'll have a new crop comes in. We had a small army that filed for the U.S. Senate race in the congressional seat on the Republican side. Those are both going to be decided in the Republican primary. That's just the reality of that situation. The part that was interesting is, again, no real surprises. No new big name jumped in the governor race. No new big name. Even no name at all. Win in a statewide race. Glenn Mulready wins re-election in a statewide race by acclamation with no one filing against him, R or D. He's done a great job, but I don't know how good that is for the democracy.
A lot of people didn't draw opponents. Yeah, it's a great question. That's a Keith Caddy discussion. Okay, you said record crop. I feel like Beavis on that when you said crop. Medical marijuana has been a millstone around everybody's back in terms of governance for the last few years. We've been talking about it. Are we close to getting something done?
One of the things we've been talking on this show about how close we are, and the House and the Senate and the governor working together on this issue better than we have. First, I want to talk about the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics. They've done an incredible job, OBND. They have done a great job really bumping up these busts for these illegal grows. We are not targeting legitimate medical marijuana businesses. The citizens of the state of Oklahoma voted for medical marijuana. What we are targeting, and I think we're going to pass it this week in talks with the Senate floor leader, and I know a little bit from the House floor leader what we're going to be running next week. We are going to be running medical marijuana bills that are targeting those illegal grows, and I think it's going to be a new day for our people in the legal market and for the citizens not having to deal with the crime that comes from the illegal market.
So the public said we want it. The governance has been shaky. You've been watching this for years. Your thoughts where we're at?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we also need to get done is finally to move OMMA out of the State Health Department, make it a standalone agency, give it the chance to hire the people that it needs in order to be better functioning, in order to do the due diligence that it needs over the industry. I think that's a big deal. I think once that happens also, if we give them some time to hire the folks that they need, we got to keep working on patient safety. I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about a medical substance here. We're talking about prescription, and the public needs to know that it's going to be safe. Target illegal activity, make sure the product is safe, get OMMA out of Health Department.
And I appreciate my friend plugging my standalone OMMA bill. I bet we pass that next week.
Okay, we'll see. There's a prediction. We'll see. Hey, coming up, we're going to be talking about the really big deal that happened. We mostly know what it is now. Be right back. So we know what the really big deal was. It's like I guess it's kind of like those Ocean's 11 movies. As the numbers keep going up. Project Ocean, we have a pretty good idea what it is going to be. But the fact is, the legislature, in 1 week, the governor said we need to do this. The legislature took care of it. We got a big deal coming to Oklahoma.
Well, it's widely been reported that it's Panasonic, and I have every reason to believe that's what it is. It would be the second largest manufacturing plant under one roof in North America. It would be the over 4,000 jobs coming. We're competing with Kansas, and the key is we offered less than half, or sorry, just barely over half what Kansas offered. We believe they're going to choose us. We believe it's going to be a game changer. While we love this investment, it's the side investments that are going to come with it. And we need to continue, though, to restructure our incentive packages where we also make sure, I love getting a big fish from out of state. It's going to be very helpful. But we need to make sure our bigger focus, though, is still on Oklahoma businesses. This is a big deal, shows we're on the national stage, but I think we're going to retool in the future and make sure we're focusing on growing our internal businesses.
Commerce Secretary played a large role in this. I mean, everybody was in on this. There's been very little opposition to this. Your thoughts about the new project?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's a huge investment in the state of Oklahoma. A lot of congratulations should go out to Secretary of Commerce Scott Mueller, our governor, leadership in the House and Senate for getting this deal to where it is right now. I think one thing that we at home need to talk about, though, is this an investment that we want here in the state of Oklahoma? I think the answer to that is yes, but only if we continue to invest in things like workforce development, in education, in healthcare. It's great to get a big multinational company to come and build a huge manufacturing plant in the state of Oklahoma, but if we don't continue to invest in ourselves and our own infrastructure, healthcare, education, things like that, having big companies come here won't make a difference. We need to make sure we're investing in us, too.
I don't think the media has even begun to scratch the surface of how big a deal this is. Now, we started the session talking about workforce development. If this happens, what if this is here? How does it enable the legislation's ongoing, the conversation about workforce development?
Oh, I think it's huge. I mean, we've talked about on this show multiple weeks now about the importance of workforce development, about making sure that we're making the kind of investment in Oklahomans that are going to pay off not just this year, but in 10 years and 20 years. These are the kinds of things that if we do correctly, we're going to give generations of Oklahomans a better opportunity for the future. And we'll continue to have people that will want to move to Oklahoma, to relocate their businesses here in the state of Oklahoma when we take care of things like education, healthcare, and infrastructure in the state of Oklahoma. If we choose us, we're always going to win.
You're Mr. Workforce Development. How does this factor into your overall goals in the legislatures?
Well, I feel great. We've been talking about a lot on this show, and you, the viewers at home, we appreciate you watching. And really, this show kind of helps direct policy. And some of the things we hear from you at home, one of the things we're continually hearing is workforce development. I've been talking about on the show for forever. We've seen the move with the OU School of Nursing, for example. We have an additional $50 million that I think I'm going to get for key workforce development areas: nursing, engineering, teaching, computer science. We've got to continue to move in that direction and continue with those investments in our economy. The other thing we have to do, though, as part of that, is get some inflationary relief. You're also going to see us cut some taxes this year or give some rebates. We're still talking about that, but get some inflationary relief to Oklahomans.
I thought we were going to get through the show without the word inflation, but we didn't, okay? Hey, see this again at news9.com/YourVoteCounts and follow me on Twitter @MitchellTalks.